Hello everyone and welcome to List Crunch here on Skaredcast. I'm Skari, your grateful host, and this is the every Friday show that I do for patrons, where you get to submit an army list, and I get to read it and tell you what I think. We also have chat that hangs out with us every once in a while when everybody's nice and hanging out, but it is a new edition of Warhammer 40,000, and everybody's having a lot of fun building lists and submitting them and kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't work and what changes in the collections that folks have to make. So it has been a very exciting time for building army lists and all that good stuff as well. And I love every Friday hanging out and sitting and chatting with all of you. I decided every once in a while I'd put these out for the general public so you can see, get a little taste of some of the bonus content that I do for patrons every single week. There's two of these videos. One is the Monday show, where we talk about meta, we talk about topical stuff that happens every single week. And then the Monday show, the List Crunch, which is today. And that's when we discuss army lists and stuff. And I just want to kind of break that down and go over it as well, which is really exciting. Now, if you want to submit a list, don't forget, you can be a Scourge, Trueborn, or Incubi leveled patron. And there's a Discord where you can post a list, or you can post it on the thread that goes up on the Patreon. Hello, Matthew. What's going on? Thanks for coming to hang out. Means a lot. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know why this lights was like, it was making me look so like ghostly, which makes sense. I hope the sound level is okay. Please let me know if everything's fine. I'm really looking forward to this. It's one of these, like, I enjoy this part of the week. It helps me break down stuff, and I love kind of like going through it and learning about. I learn a lot by building lists, and I don't know if that's the same for folks there. Like, if you really enjoy this kind of video, just let me know, with a comment or like the video or whatever, and hopefully you find this useful as well. Okay, now there's a couple of crazy live stuff that's happening this weekend, which is we've got the Tacoma Open, a Games Workshop event, which is happening. And we also have War Games live streaming. So, it's all good. We're all hanging out here, having a good time. Okay, let's dive into the list crunch per se. I also got a haircut, as you can say. I know if you follow the social medias, but I had to cut off the matter hair. Let's dive in. John Tatsuko says, thinking about this list for LSO. It's 2,000 points Drukhari. Nice. So the thing about Drukhari lists right now is they're very similar in creation. The variety isn't really as variety-ish as I would like or as I would hope. That is a bit of a bummer, but it doesn't mean it's not effective. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean there isn't wiggle room to create something that could be very fun and entertaining to play with, and or that pushes the envelope. And it's very easy to go online and listen to the pundits, right, like myself, where talk about what's good and what's bad in the meta. And honestly, that's the worst way of making up your mind about anything in this game. And sadly, it is like a lot of people take that as canon, and then they stop exploring the things that you like. They stop testing and trying things out. So I say to you, Warhammer 40,000 player, if you're learning the game or you're a veteran, don't miss out on the awesome part of the hobby, which is testing things and exploring combinations and finding what works for you. There you go. That's my hot take. So John has an Archon with a Blast Pistol Huskblade, the Art of Pain. That's something I found competitively. I don't really like spending a lot of points on characters right now. An Archon with as a warlord to get access to Devious Mastermind, which is the Vect style ability he has that makes an enemy stratagem more expensive. And then the Art of Pain. Keep it cheap, keep it simple, don't spend too many points. Hey, what's going on, Cosmic? 4 hours into our drive. Nice. 4 hours, that's a long drive. Holy moly. Battle line, we've got 9 Cabalite Warriors. You've got a Dark Lance, Shredder, Splinter Rifle, Splinter Cannon, Dark Lance, Shredder, Splinter Cannon. Don't forget you can... Oh, and the blasters right there. Okay, fair enough. Good. Same. Blast Pistol, Phantasm, Cybright Weapon. Good. So you're doing it 3 times. I'm thinking 3 to 4 Cabalite Warriors in a competitive list is about right. I think 3 is like the minimum that I would want to take. 2 units of Rax, that's very much what I've been doing. 2 Raiders and a Venom. Yeah, that's about standard. 2 Kronos. And then you've taken 3 Grotesques. Good, yeah. 5 Andrix are excellent. 3 Ravagers, excellent. A unit of Reaver Jet Bike. Oh, 2 units of Reaver Jet Bikes. Nice. And 3 units of Scourge. And then an allied Death Jester. I like this list a lot. Like, it's very similar to my list that I've been running competitively right now. The biggest switch is you're taking the Grotesques, and then you take a second unit of Reavers, and then you take a Death Jester as an ally instead of the Talos. Now, I do like the allies in the Drukhari list. I think you can really make use of the allies. So if you're a Drukhari player, like a Solitaire, a Death Jester, you know, that sort of thing really adds a lot of, like, technical and tactical depth to the Drukhari, like, core, which is going to shift over time. You know, over time, and as codexes come in and out, who knows what's going to be good and what's going to be bad? I have no clue. All I know is that as of right now, I would love to have a Death Jester in my list, but I can't because I'm going to the World Team Championship, and Eldar is its own faction, and you can only take one faction, not repeated, right? So you cannot take Eldar units in your Dark Eldar army because then you're using the entire Eldar Codex for Dark Eldar, which is not something that's feasible when everybody has an Eldar book and Eldar is like crazy strong, right? So you need Eldar to go in and just like crush people, right? Anyway, I like the list. Thank you for submitting it. I don't think there's much you can really change, you know, in this style of list without like reworking it from the get-go. And best of luck with it. It should work. It is not easy to pilot, I'll tell you that right now, because everything dies so fast. But it does a heck of a lot of damage. There's a lot of Dark Lances in that list, like mine, and I love it. So go forth and crush. And as I like to say, embrace the pew pew. That's a hashtag, by the way. You can leave a comment down below. Embrace the pew pew. Kyle submitted a list as well. Hello, Kyle. Thanks for putting a list in for the list crunch. Says, hey, Scary. Hello. I've been toying with this list for a few days. The Nurglings present a hard wall to chew through. Yes. Be'lakor keeps my big guys safe from long-range shooting. Excellent. For anybody who doesn't know, Be'lakor has an aura where you cannot shoot the units that are within 6 of him, or demon units within 6 of him, outside of 18, so you can keep stuff safe, which is really neat. Background music to my late night dissertation work, says Alex Wallace. Well, I'm glad. Thanks for coming down, Alex. Appreciate it. You know, if you're listening to Warhammer during your dissertation, well, let me get my monocle. Ah, very fancy. Yes. Delicious. I, too, am a... I'm going to stop now. The Great Unclean One is damn near unkillable. I'd like to test that challenge. I mean, I'd like to test that theory. The Changeling is an action doer or a backfield objective holder. Yes, the Changeling, by the way, if you're a Chaos player and you haven't allied in the Changeling yet, just do it once or twice to see what it's like, okay? Just test it. Test it just to see if you like it. I have the Brigands for some ranged firepower. Yeah, makes sense. Shalaxi, Beasts, and Blood Crushers for melee pressure. Yes. Leaving the 3-man Nurglings to do cheap actions. Because, yes, they can do actions and things like that. A Gentleman of Distinction? You seem like a Gentleman of Distinction. Ah! You are also a Gentleman of Distinction, I see. Hello! Let me go get the bubbly. Or is it a pipe? Do I need a pipe? And now it is an ASMR stream. Congratulations. Okay, so let's see. You've got Demon Boys, Be'lakor, Great Unclean One, Shalaxi, Skullmaster, Changeling. Okay, makes sense. Nurglings, 9, 3 and 3. Sure. Beasts, yep, I like beasts a lot. They're good. Blood Crushers, and then 2, 1 Brigand. 2 Brigands. Chain Cannon and so this is like your anti-tank right here. Makes sense. You know, if how many points do you have left? You've got 15 points left. 15 points left. Based on the list itself, like, what do the beasts do for you? Like, they're the one thing that kind of stands out as like is it really worth to have the beasts? From like a me perspective, looking out at you, like, I would love to have, you know, these beasts, or maybe these blood crushers. Like, I don't like, it's just, I don't know, these 2 units feel a little bit out of place into what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get the Nurglings to be like annoying, take like 2 squads of 9 at least. Like 2 double squads of Nurglings, which is like a ton of wounds people have to get through, and then use them to like just clog up the board, right? Clog up the board, be annoying while your other stuff does work. And then I would try and fit in the 3rd Brigand. Brigands are quite good. They're one of my favorite units. I don't know what you do, because it's 150 points. Like, you put that in, and then this turns into Nurglings, and then these Nurglings go into 6. So you could do 9, 9, 6 Nurglings and 3 Brigands. Maybe that works. Then you probably don't need the Skullmaster, so maybe 40, what's 155 points. So maybe you just drop the Blood Crushers and then drop the Beast and Nurgle for another War Dog Brigand, and then drop the. See, it's, I haven't really seen it played, right? And, I think that there's wiggle room. I like the core characters. I love Be'lakor, Great Unclean One. Shalaxi, it's like very killy, sure. And another thing I feel like it'd be really cool to have is the skull cannons, because they cause battle shock tests, and that can really help with like the other things that you're trying to achieve with the list and stop people from scoring and things. But if you would let me know, kind of like I get the blood crushers and melee pressure, but is it like worth it? Maybe a bloodthirster? Is it worth trying to just bring in a bloodthirster for that sort of thing? I'll drop the beast for another brigand. Okay, there you go. So if you did Skullmaster, right? You keep the Skullmaster, then you keep the Blood Crushers, you change the Beast Nurgle for a 3rd brigand, and I think that sort of like that alone changes the list, because then you have decent shooting with the brigands, so you have like 3 of them, which is the max you can take, and then you've got the beasts are like meh, but the brigands kind of fill that role of like tanky unit that sits on objectives, and then you've got the little Nurglings to do actions. And then you've got the main thread of Be'lakor and Shalaxi for combat with the Blood Crushers. Yeah, and hopefully that sort of gives you a thought of like how to move forward. But thank you, Kyle. Yeah, no problem, Kyle. Thanks for submitting a list. I really appreciate it. Okay, on to the next one. Matthew. It was awesome to see you at the TGX, Matthew. And it was really nice. You came back from your holiday and you were like, let's go play some 40k. And then like 2 games in, you're like, I know what changes I want to make to my list. Which is always good to hear. When you're building a Warhammer 40,000 army list, it is a good idea to do it with an open mind. You go in, you play as many games as you can, and you keep it fresh. And you like keep yourself thinking and modifying and switching things. And don't settle, but don't change too much too quickly, right? So, hi, Skari. More of an experimental / aspirational list. Okay, don't have all the models, but it could be worth considering. The Justiciar joins the Blade Guard in the Rhino. Can Blade Guard go in a Rhino? Interesting. Deathwing Knights are joined by a Chaplain in the Land Raider. I do like Land Raiders. I think they are very good, especially with Armor Contempt. It's very hard to kill them. The Lieutenant can ride in either vehicle. Has Lone Operative and Infiltrate. Yes, because he's one of those lieutenants. Also a buff to wounds on specific objective. Yeah, I do. It's like a little prime objective. Reroll once to wound. Yeah, just overall a handy tool. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Okay, number one, lone operative is amazing. So if you have anything with lone operative, I think that's very, very useful. And let's kind of dive in. So chaplain, he is great, especially with a lot of mortal wounds, like against Aeldar and things. He helps against those devastating wound shenanigans. The Judiciary. Fights first is one of the most powerful mechanics in this game. It's nice that you've put him in there. Lieutenant with a combi weapon. Is he like just he's the lieutenant, like the one that came in the new set, right? The anti-Tyranid lieutenant guy. One intercessor squad. Yes. I will tell you right now, I love that. Sticky objectives are incredibly useful. Being able to sticky something and like move away from it is money. I do it with my Cavalry Warriors all the time, and I feel like more Space Marine armies would benefit from taking a single intercessor squad more often. Okay, good. Correct. The new lieutenant. Awesome. Thank you for clarifying that. A rhino. Yeah. A 6-strong unit of Blade Guard veterans. I like them a lot. I think they're very good. One big Deathwing command squad. Awesome. You know, I love those. They're great. Little unit Deathwing Knights. -1 damage. Just get stuck in. They're like a little Tarpity style unit. I like it. Devastator squad with Graph Cannon. And another. Look, I will say this right now. I played into 2 Devastator squads with Graph Cannons when I played Sam at the TGX. They are ridiculously good, especially into something like Knights, where you just go, "Oh, is that a Knight?" It'd be a shame if you took like 30 damage in a single shooting phase. Like it's nuts, especially with Oath of Moment on their target. It is crazy how good they are. They're like your attack. You know, remember the old attack bikes with multi-meltars in 9th edition? The Devastators with Grav are like, and they're 3 damage. So if you play against like Custodes or, you know what I mean? Like you're just throwing 3 damage shots down field. Tommy says Blade Guard veterans can't use rhinos. I didn't think so, Tommy. You know, however, if that's the case, which I think Tommy's right. I think we're right, which is one of the reasons why we like going through this stuff. Is you can use the Blade Guard veterans to go in the Land Raider Redeemer. I believe that they fit in the Redeemer with the Judiciary, or you walk them. Now, the reason I like walking Blade Guard veterans with the Judiciary is because of the fights first. With the fights first, you know, you can hide them in walls and stuff like that, but they're an excellent heroic intervention stratagem user, because you can heroically intervene them and then they have fights first, so you can like charge into anything that's threatening your lines and then kill them before they get to kill you. Secondly, if they're on foot, you can kind of screen an objective, kind of like just sit them there and go, well, if you want to come here, you have to charge me, or you can like go around and try to shoot me from a weird angle. But if you charge me, I get to fight you first anyway. So I'm just going to sit here and just exist. And it is very annoying to get rid of while the rest of your army does stuff. Hey, Nurgle Matthew, what's going on? Rockin' right along, chat. Yeah, that's right. Thanks a lot for coming and hanging out on List Crunch. The opening the vaults list crunch for all of you at home. If you do like these videos, please, I know live videos have a hard time in the algorithm, so leave a comment, like this video, share it if you enjoy this kind of content as well. So like that, more folks can enjoy us breaking down lists. A Scout Squad. You know my thoughts on the Scout Squad. For everybody else out there, incredibly useful. They're like a better Mandrake unit. They can teleport in and out, and they're really good. They're just really annoying to deal with. Really annoying. And then another normal Scout Squad. I would try and make one a Sniper Scout Squad, but that's just me. Because having a lone operative Scout Squad that can then, like, you know, move if something gets too close to it and stuff is, like, borderline ridiculously silly. And Sam had 2 Sniper Scout Squads and a regular Scout Squad in a storm. So he was really leaning heavily into the Scouts just being able to score points, which they did quite effectively, and they were very annoying to deal with. Plus, the snipers are really good to like precision characters and stuff in the odd chance that they are like that as well. I think sniper rifles got an upgrade, like glow up in 10th. But all in all, I think the only thing you need to look at is that Rhino Blade Guard Veterans thing, because I don't think it needs it. And you don't have the out of line of sight shooting either. So maybe dropping a Rhino in a scout squad, right, which gives you how many points? Where's the Rhino? So 85 and 75, so 155, right? 155, and if you find, 15 more points somewhere, which is not easy, right? You get a whole Desolation squad, and I think having a Desolation squad in Marines, even at the expense, is not a bad idea. It's just good to have it, right? Who Took My Dice says, I run both in my list. Scouts are awesome again. Yeah, and they're 2 wounds now. Like, Scouts got good. They went to school and they got taught by Marine school, Marine chaplain guy. And he was like, you need 2 wounds and you need to hide more. And they're like, that's probably a good idea. And so they learned how to hide, so now they're lone operative, or they bounce in and out of the table. And they're 2 wounds, which is really good. But I hope that that helps you out, Matthew. I'm looking forward to playing on Sunday. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. Let me know, by the way, what you want to play against. Drukhari or the Templars or the Guard or the Thousand Sons, depending on what you want. Okay, let's dive in to the next list. Scott Townsend. Hi, Skari. Hi, Scott. Thanks for putting a list into the list crunch. Been playing with a Votann list to bring to a team event in September. Okay, so you got a little bit of time. Now, I will say, by the time September rolls around, I wouldn't be surprised if they've done some changes to the game. They did say, 3 months? June, July, August. Yeah, July, August, September, for like the first points update. Was that right? So, you know what? Boom. So maybe there'll be some like shuffling by the time you get to go to your event. Now, you are submitting a Votann list, and I will say that is very brave, and I hope you go and just crush it. I'm looking forward to seeing some Votann actually do, and at a team event, it's like the best place to take, is you can avoid like the crap matchups and be like, I can win this game, Grudge token generation is key. Normally, a grudge token given when a unit is destroyed. To maximize grudge token creation, I took a character with Grim Efficiency to generate a token each battle round. Awesome. Then long list and appraising glare to supplement that ability. Good. So you're leaning into the faction ability. I like that. Grudge tokens also give +1 armor, pen token, warrior pride, and sustained hits 2 for ancestral sentence if a target has tokens. This is on top of the +1 hit and wound. So they help with your stratagems. Okay, so you're really banking on putting tokens on units that you need to kill, focusing them down, making sure they're dead, moving on to something else. Not a bad idea, right? Especially in this day and age of very efficient shooting and killing stuff. I don't know what Games Workshop was thinking with the less lethal, marketing thing, but that's not the case at all. So we had the Iron Master, neat, with the ecogs and stuff, cool. Champion with the Grace, nice, so he goes super fast. Then we have the Call with the Glare. Uthar, ooh, you're running Uthar himself, are you? It's like a double call in there, nice. Then we have 10 Hearthkin as a battle line. Is that like a token unit? Is that just like a token unit because you want like just a battle line unit that can sit in the back? What are they gonna do? Are they just, you didn't have any other points for something else? Do they have like a role? Feels like the token Hearthkin warriors. They're like, yeah, we got guns. We sit here and do good stuff. Okay, if you split them with Sagittars, I will say, okay, you know what, good. Because then you can like split them up and then you have lots of little units of warriors. At least it gives you stuff to do actions and to go and grab objectives and be annoying and stuff. So that makes sense. 3 Sagitors, 3 Thunderkin with Graviton. Grav is really good right now. I don't care who you are. Grav is good. 3 units of Berserks, and then 2 units of Hearthguard. I do think Hearthguard is where the money is in this. I would honestly try and take 3 squads, or like 1 squad of 10 and 2 squads of 5. It's expensive, but I think that would actually be really, really good. Where could you drop points? I don't think you need 3 units of Berserks. You know what I mean? You could drop like a Berserk unit, and then you had 15 points left over. That's 150. You just need 15 points somewhere. You know? Like, what's 230? Is it 200? No, 200 and 120. No, it's 330. So you could do, yeah, it's not even enough points if you drop like a Berserk unit and but if you drop a Berserk unit, a Sagittor, and the Warriors, you can put in like a 10-man unit of Hearthguard. And that, I think, is worth it. I love the Hearthguard. They're so good. Anyway, that's just my thought process. I do like the Fortress. I think it's good. It does die faster than it did before, I think. But keep it in cover, and it's not easy to take down. And then you countercharge with the Berserks as well. The Sagittors are good for speed and ability, and it's really about just scoring your points. And you've got a decent amount of characters. You really have to leverage that Einherjar champion to go in and like do some damage. And of course, your tokens. Like good activation of tokens, putting tokens places. I feel like Votann is one of those lists that people are not giving it a chance. Like you're not seeing them anywhere. So people aren't innovating, right? And you want to, like, it was when, say, Dark Eldar was crap, and I was like one of the only people playing Dark Eldar. I tried to innovate and create and, come up with solutions to solve the meta problems, So go out there and be the best Votann you can be. And then let me know how it goes. I'm really curious. And of course, it's in September, so you have like time to play games, play tournaments, adapt, overcome, and I'm looking forward to seeing the transition of the list as you move on with it. So thank you for posting a list. I really appreciate it. And hello to all new folks in chat. I am reading chat, so if you have any questions, you can put it there. If you have a favorite list or you disagree with anything I said or agree, you can always leave a comment down in the comment section below. That's right. Okay, Phil, let's go over your list here. Phil says, Eldar list I call guns. In quotations. I signed up for a league and an RTT at the end of the month. Nice. I don't really have time to experiment with different units. I haven't tried. So my fire prisms will not be table ready. Sad. Honestly, I just want to shoot stuff and not have to think hard about it. Well, if you take Eldar, you will be in that category of just killing things and not having to think hard about it. Farseer flies solo, so not too worried about indirect. He reses on a 2+, excellent. Wraithguard tank and farm fate dice with unit kills, good. Azerman plus DA in a transport, okay. Free Overwatch on a 4+, yeah, with Azerman. He's a cool piece of gear, I like him. Viper to strip cover. D-Cannon's expensive, but still really good, especially with Blast. D-Cannons are ridiculous. Even at 105 points, they will kill 500 to 600 points of your opponent's army if they let you. They are one of the best units in the entire game. So they're still very, very good. Lots of MSU bikers and little boats to play the game. You definitely need to score points. Not a bad way to do it. Let's take a look at this list. Azerman, Death Jesters with Fate's Messenger. Yep. Farseer with Phoenix Gem. Yep. Spirit Seer with Weeping Stones. Yep. The only thing I could see you changing here is this Death Jester could be a Wayfinder Autarch with the little wings. He's also a Lawn Operative. He gives you an extra command point every turn. So, and I think he's the same points. Not bad. He also has he's better in combat. He's got like the mask that fights first, and he's got like a strength 6 AP 2/2 damage weapon. Like, he's not terrible. No battle line. Amazing. Wave Serpent. Okay, good. 10 Dyers, 5 Rangers. Not battle line. Shroud Runners 3. 3 D cannons. Whew. That's some spicy D cannons shenanigans. But since you don't have Night Spinners, then it's good. If not, you'd probably want like 2D cannons and then like a couple of Night Spinners. Void Weaver, so Harlequin stuff, good. A Viper, 2 Warwalkers, yep, they're very, very good. 3 units of Wind Riders, haven't really seen them been used, but I'm assuming they're okay. And a big block of Wraithguard. I think that's where most of your points are going. Now, you don't have a Wraith Knight, so you can't like leverage the toughness and the bully ability of the Wraith Knight, so use the Wraithguard. And if I were to recommend something, don't be conservative with the Wraithguard. The first game I played into Nick at the TGX, and he had a unit of Wraithguard, but he ended up putting it on like the far flank of the table, and I was able to ignore it all game. And it was great because I was able to focus on the other side of the table and kill a bunch of stuff. If he would have put that unit of Wraithguard right in the middle of the board, I would have had to kill it or shoot it or deal with it somehow, and it would have forced me to like deal with it. So don't be afraid to force your opponent to deal with it, but I have seen 10 Wraithguard go down very, very quickly. So, keep them safe, but use them. And if they need to die, they die. Whatever. But I do like this list. It is definitely very killy. I don't think you can make a bad Eldar list right now. I think it's... I don't know if it's even possible. But Phil, go forth. Have fun at your RTT. And let me know how it goes. I look forward to hearing about it as well. Alex in chat says, I'm hoping to see some Grey Knights. Joining a tabletop simulator next month. They seem the closest army to Drukhari besides Craftworld's mobility-wise, but the army seems kind of bland. Inspiration! Yeah. Bad list. Challenge accepted, says Darlisle. Yeah, it's hard. I don't think you could, like, I don't care what you say. You just can't, like, it might look bad, but you'd have to play it really bad. I mean, like, not use your fate dice and stuff like that. I feel like it would be you just can't build a bad list because you use it and then it's just good. I do like Grey Knights. I think Grey Knights, Alex, have a spot. They're just... I feel like you can build a Grey Knight list, to be honest. I just don't think it's as meek, like it's as bland or blah as people say. I don't know. You can disagree with me. I am a chronic optimist, okay? I bring positivity to this wonderful hobby of ours. So you can agree or disagree. I don't care. I'm going to be happy that I get to play toy soldiers and do little pew pew and vroom vroom and zoom zoom noises with my little toys. And that's just how it is. And if it's bad for 8 months and I have to suck it up while my rules get updated or whatever, sure. If I have to play all shooting so I can enjoy the game, sure. If I have to change factions to make sure I'm playing something I like, sure, whatever. It's all good. It's literally, we play with toy soldiers. And Eldar's OP. Do you think Wraith list is good? Yeah, I can definitely be very good. Like, Wraiths are fantastic. Have you not seen what Wraith can do? Like, Wraith constructs are crazy. Wraithguard, Wraithlord, Wraith Knight. They're so good. So good. Especially with Farseer support. It's nuts. Oh, okay, let's dive into Carl's list. Thank you for posting a list, Carl. It says Gateway GT. Really wish I could find space for Lilith and Drazar. Yeah, I know. It's like 100 points each. Like, if you're not careful, you'll spend like 500 points on characters, and they're like Dark Eldar characters, so they literally die in like 2 seconds. Also cut all the Talos, because they just never get anywhere. Yep, it's hard to fly them around, that's for sure. I don't think I need Art of Pain with the loadout. Seems like I always have enough tokens. Okay, fair enough. Especially if, like, I like the Art of Pain personally, but if you're good at, like, or your meta is showing you can kill units to get pain tokens, and you use the Chronos to cycle through them, and you're rolling 4-ups. It's no problem. I like the racks for that, too. You can leverage the lack of Art of Pain by making sure your racks are in a position to die when you need them to die, to get a pain token, to get a Chronos started, right? 2 Cabs and Raider, 1 Venom, 1 Cab with an Archon objective for Vect. Everything else is pretty standard. Yep, makes sense. So an Archon, no upgrades though. Blast pistol, good. A lot of people forget to switch that blast pistol, and I feel that's a shame. Cabalites with all the goodies, 3 units of them. Yep, a core Cabalites is good. 1 Raider and 3 Venoms. Okay, so you're doing the 3 Venoms. Not that I mind. I think that's pretty cool. 2 Chronos, 2 units of 5 Mandrakes, 3 Ravagers, 2 units of Reavers, 3 units of Scourge, and then a Death Jester and a Solitaire. Now, you don't have any racks, right? You still have the 3 Scourge, the 3 Ravagers, the 2 Chronos. I think that's pretty much the standard. Like, if you're building a Dark Eldar army, at least right now, like 4 weeks into the edition or whatever it is, 15 Scourge, 3 Ravagers, 2 Chronos, an Archon for Vect, and like, you know, a couple of units of Cavalry Warriors. And that's pretty much the core of like any build, which is good because it makes it simple and you can just like cook it up and do it, but it's also kind of bland. So hopefully they make things a little better in the codex. So we'll see how that goes. Like right now, the best way I've heard it described is it's a beta test. The entire edition is just in beta. They gave us free rules, they put it out in the universe, and they said, here's beta test. Beta test it for us. You know, so that's what we're doing right now. We're just finding old bullshit. Okay, Death Jester, I love it. And then the Solitaire. I don't own a Solitaire, but that's another thing I would like to try. I feel like for 10 points more than like Drazar or Lilith, the Solitaire is like good. He's lone operative and can fly super fast down the board and like go and nuke something. You just have to be careful with Overwatch. You know what I mean? Like don't get too close to flamers because they will get you. So just be careful about that. But it is something I want to test. Like I have an old school metal one from like back in the day. It's like a vintage Solitaire. Oh, I should probably bring him out. He's like this big though. he'd be so tiny. He'd be like hiding behind like little barrels. Be like, "Wee, I'm a Solitaire." They'll stab stuff. Stab. I like the list. It's good. It's solid. You know, it's not easy to play a list like this though, because this is something I found out, Carl, at the event. It's just we die so quickly, and you have to use like reserves effectively to make sure that you like the Alpha Strike for Dark Eldar isn't what it used to be. Like it used to be, you put stuff on the board, you'd maneuver into like a spot, turn 1, and then turn 2 you'd hop out and like get into the opponent's lines with like Incubi and a Succubus and Witches and things like that, and you'd like maybe do some shooting, but it was mainly Drazar going around flipping things over. Now, Dark Eldar are different, where I find the best games I've played with Drukhari are when I put minimal amount of stuff on the table and just try and pick off a couple of targets early on, like a war dog or a little unit of infiltrators or an infantry unit or whatever, and then it explodes into action turn 2, turn 3, where you pop everything on, and that's when you go for like a hammer blow and try and just crush a side of the enemy that if they overextended and got a little too overconfident, and you just punish them hard. So, Pezler says no triple Tantalus today? Not today. No, this is a patron show where patrons get to submit lists, and I read them, and I give my thoughts. And I do this every Friday. It's called List Crunch. As you can see, it's a bowl of cereal, because a good weekend of gaming starts with a healthy dose of List Crunchos in the List Crunch. It's a part of a healthy gaming diet. And full of sugar, which is also healthy. But thank you for your list, Carl. Okay, Alfarius, onto your list. I love what your list is. Your list is just Existence 101. I wonder why. Fraser says Crunchios. Yeah, list Crunchios, like list Crunchos. You know, like the cereal. There you go. It's delicious. Custodes, the distractions, 2 grav tanks. Yep, they wave their arms around and go, shoot us! Shoot us, we're really dangerous, which they are. The Green Berets, sudden reinforcements, hard to remove. The 2 Custodians with buckler, the Venatari with bucklers. Haven't seen them being used. But you and I had a conversation, I really like them. The 300 Leonis would be Prowess, pick an objective and own it. Custodian Guard with shields, and a Vexilla with Inquisitor Kyra Draxus. For anybody who doesn't know, Lord Inquisitor Kyra Draxus has an ability where in the command phase, rolls a dice on a 2+, the unit that she's with cannot be targeted with ranged weapons over 18 inches away. Makes an entire unit of Custodians untargetable with shooting. Very good. Very, very good. I've been Scarios. Now that's funny. I like her a lot actually. In Marie, like she's an Imperial agent. She can be like in any list. It's really good. The problem solvers remove the threats, own the objectives. 6 wardens with a shield captain. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. You could also do 10 guardians. I'm a big fan of the guardians for the double shoot and the reroll all wound rolls when they're on an objective. Makes them incredibly good. The Vexilla, sorry, the wardens are good because of the feel no pain. That's once per game. I don't know. You like it really depends on what your meta is. I prefer the Guardians. I think a 10 block of Guardians is just good. It's just better all around. Secondary tools. Came for the points, stay for the fun. Yeah. 3 Alaris. Yeah, sure. Not bad. You could even get away with just 2. I don't think you need 3. 2 is just fine. 1 Calidus Assassin. If you're an Imperial player and haven't been using a Calidus, please do right now. It's very good. Carve 100 points out of your list and put a Calidus in there. Access to a Vect. Bounces in and out of the table like Mandrakes do, or Scouts. She's so good at doing little missions and stuff. Just excellent. And then she has a Flamer that goes and murders infantry. And then look at the Exaction squads with Medikits, okay? 5 toughness 3 wounds for 35 points with a 5-up feel no pain. 70 points for 10 of these with a 5-up feel no pain. It is so flippin' good, especially in Custodes. Like, look at these Imperial agents if you haven't already. They are incredible. They will open your game to, like, a new world of building lists. And read all the cool little, like, rules and stuff that they get and see if it works for you in your list. Just saying. I'm just saying it's a fantastic choice. But yeah, I don't really need to go into much detail here, Alfarius. I like this list. This list is good. The only thing I haven't seen in play are the Venatari, so I'm curious to see how they do for you in more games. But Guard with Draxus, good. I've seen that played. Good. Wardens, good. I've seen that played. Shield Captain with Spear, good. I've seen that played. Custodians, Alaris, good. I don't think you need 3. I think you could get away with 2. Calidus Assassin, excellent. And then the Exaction squads, freaking incredible. Custodes are in a very solid place right now. Alex says, takes notes of Exaction squads for Grey Knights. Yes, honestly. 2 little cheap as chips units that can just sit there and do nothing, screen the backboard, do little actions, especially in Custodes. It's just very, very useful. Okay, let's go into Archon Morsand's list. It says, gonna try Bladestorm on Raiders and Cavalites. I guess you have to play an Inari to take Drukhari in your Aeldari. A lot of people weren't. It's in the index. In the Aeldari index, there's a thing. If Rain is your warlord, you can take, Drukhari in your list, and it's Inari or whatever. So, sure. Which is something that's pretty cool. Now, it is only 1,500 points. So, you've got Ivrain, the Vizark on the Incarn. You could even drop the Vizark. I don't think you need the Vizark. But the Incarn is money. Love the Incarn. Spirit Seer with Fate's Messenger. Warlock Skyrunner. Wave Serpent. Yeah, with Rangers. A Skyweaver. Yep. Troop. Nice. 1 big troop. So who are you putting in the Skyweaver? The Skyweaver... Oh, the Haywire Blossoms and the Glaives. That's the Jet Bikes. Okay. Sure. Yeah. 6 Scatalays of Wind Riders. Is this a 5? This is a 5-man unit, I believe. 10 Cavalites. With a Raider. 1 Ravager. Scourge with Haywire. And 1,500 points. Okay. So I like the fact you have lots of Haywire. I like the fact you've got the little Rangers to do some actions as well. I don't think you need the Vizark. I think you can get rid of the Vizark, to be honest. I think the Vizark could turn into, if you find 5 more points, another Skyweaver unit. Personally, I think that would probably be best, to be honest. That's the only change I can really. Everything's like you are spending a lot of points in characters. I don't think you need the Warlock with Skyrunner, but then again, you do have the big unit of bikes, so maybe that kind of works really well. And a big recommendation that I have is keep Ivrain by herself. You don't need to join her to anything. As soon as you join her to something, she loses her ability to Deep Strike. And having her in Deep Strike is amazing. She has a little D6 plus 3 like psychic attack that's devastating wounds, anti-infantry 2+. So she will kill infantry like so well. She can come in deep strike in the backfield and just like nuke those backfield objective holders that the enemy is using very, very effectively. So yeah, that's just a little thing for Ivrain. Splinter Cannon Scourge make better use of Bladestorm, AP -3, 2 damage. Yeah, sure. If anything, I would honestly be doing the Scourge with Dark Lances. Like, the Ravager with Dark Lances is good, but like, Haywire Blasters on Scourge are okay. But then you get within range of somebody overwatching you, because 24 inches is that threat range of Overwatch, and 5 Scourge will die to like somebody overwatching with a lot of bolter shots. So you need to be careful. That's why I like Dark Lances, because you can keep them way back in the back, and they can bounce in and out and shoot and stuff, and I think that's really useful as well. But other than that, Archon Morsand, that's my thought process. You know, I don't think you need the Vizark. I think you use those points elsewhere, and then see about changing these to Dark Lances on the Scourge. That's it. But I hope that helps. Okay, on to Magusman. Magusman. Thank you for submitting a list. And thank you for watching so far. Let me know what your favorite list has been in the comments or in the chat. And, you know, let me know. Leave a like. Share. It really helps the video get noticed. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Jonathan says, I'm late. Hello from Trinidad. Nice. Hello. Thanks for coming to hang out on a Friday evening with us here on the YouTubes, where we're going to have some fun and talk some lists. So, new knights. So, a Knight Crusader. Good. Crusaders are just, yeah, I don't think you need, like, the Crusaders are good. I like them. Paladin. That rapid-fire battle cannon is absolutely ridiculous. And the Warden. Gatling cannon, Reaper Chainsword. Yeah. So -1 damage, +1 to hit, and then the Paladin is something else. Yeah. All pretty good. Helvrin, Warglaive, Warglaive, Warglaive. Yep. So the list itself doesn't really, you know, change too much. It's 4 little knights and 3 big knights. Knights are very powerful. However, they are very good in tables where you can see everything. Like, go to the Games Workshop event from this weekend, for example, and most of the tables are really open. I would have loved to have taken knights to that event, because they would have just sit there and, like, kill everything. However, it is a very killy edition. And if you don't go first with your knights, or your opponent can hide and alpha strike you or beta strike your knights will die a lot faster than you think. Now, one of the keys to this style of list is keeping a Helvrin alive. Like, keeping this guy alive, I think, is absolutely key. But keeping any of the Warglaives alive as well. Because their bondsman abilities can only be used if, right, there are Helvrins or Warglaives, armatures nearby that they can give it to. So keeping one alive so you can get the bonuses to your army is very, very important. Yeah, there's not a lot of options. Like, Imperial Knights don't really have a lot of options. Like, the only thing I could really see is, instead of taking a Warden, maybe take, what's his face? The Canis Rex guy. Because then when he dies, you get a little dude that pops out, and he's like a little lone operative and can go do stuff. But that's just my thought process. I like the Crusader. The Paladin's okay. I like the Warden. The Warden's probably one of my favorites. The Crusader's one of my next favorites, and the Paladin's just good. You know, it's just like all around a good choice. So this is a pretty solid list. You could, depending on your local meta, you could always switch one of these Warglaves for a Helverin, right? If you really, really wanted to. And then another option is taking one Warglaive out. That gives you 145 points. So then you can put in a Calidus Assassin for 115 and a unit of what the heck are they called? Exaction squads for 35, which is 100. Oh, that's 150 points. Dang it. Oh, yeah, 150. No, because then you'd need one more points. Boo! You have 5 points left. An assassin with a couple of, like, a little one of those squads. Maybe not the Callus, maybe an Eversor or something. That might actually be very useful for you to score points. But it's like little tweaks like that that you could do, you know, with Knights. All in all, I like the list, though. I don't think, like, you can really make, like, a very bad Knight list, you know. It's more about, like, but they're not easy to pilot because you have, like, limited resources. And you need to make sure you do the maximum amount of damage with the least amount of things in your army. But thank you for your list. I appreciate that. Okay, we have our second to last list today. Nice. Is Sevatar says, just put a list straight in. Didn't ask any questions or anything. So let's dive right in. Archon, check. Homunculus, who is the Warlord with the Art of Pain. That's one thing I would definitely switch. Make the Archon the Warlord. If the Archon is not the Warlord, he cannot use his Devious Mastermind ability, which means you would not get access to what we call Vect, so you could not make an enemy stratagem more expensive. So that's a very simple switch. I like the Homunculus with Art of Pain because he tends to live a little longer than the Archon, but make the Archon the Warlord to get access to all of his abilities. If not, just toss the Archon completely and save yourself the 85 points. Hello, Helvexus. Good morning. How are you? Hi, Carl Ray says you should have seen the Knight list I saw piloted last week. Castellan, Valiant, and 5 Armigers. Yeah, was that pretty good? Like, there are a lot of different combinations of Knight lists that you can make, surprisingly, considering they only have Helverin, Warglaive, and then, like, a bunch of big Knights. 2 units of Cabalites, yep. 5 racks, yep. Now, remember, Hex Rifle, Flamer, Pistol, Ossifactor. You can have 4 weapons in a unit rack, so make sure you have all 4 weapons if you can. Cadian says, pretty nice on a Venom with that strat. Splinter Rifle, plus 4 rifles, double cannon can kill a lot of Marines for 1 CP. Yep. Especially in a, like, I think Inari is one of the most powerful ways to play Aeldari, personally, especially because you can mix a whole bunch of stuff. Pre-coffee at the moment, Helvexus. You need to get that coffee in you. Let's go. 2 Venoms with Splinter Cannons, 1 Kronos, good. Scourge with Dark Lances, Scourge with Haywire, okay. 2 Talos, 2 Talos. See, I feel like you need to make these Haywires. The Heat Lances on the Talos, I have like a love-hate relationship with them. I put them on originally, and then I used them, and then I realized they were 1 shot each. So you get 2 shots in a unit of Talos at 18-inch range, and they're not assault weapons. So you cannot advance and shoot them. They hit on 3s, sure, but they're 1 shot each, and they hit on 4s. And it was just so annoying. But they are, like, Heat Lances are a very good weapon. It's just Talos can't fly over walls and stuff anymore. They have to go around. So getting into range to use the Heat Lances was like a pain in the butt. But that's just me playing it on it like constantly and figuring out that I needed that 24 inches range for the Haywires. Plus, the Haywires really help into something like a 2-up save tank with a cover save, right? Like a Land Raider with cover has a 1-up save, and then they can armor contempt it. So your Dark Lances are making it save on 3 pluses. So it's very hard to kill it with even Dark Lances. Whereas a Haywire Cannon can do mortal wounds to it and kind of bypass that whole armor thing with devastating wounds and anti-vehicle 4+, and Twin Links for the reroll wound roll. Cadian says, if this is supposed to be a Patreon show, it's public currently. I'm very aware of that. This is a Patreon show that I do every Friday for Patreons. Every once in a while, I'll unlock the vault like I did today, and I will do it for all of you to enjoy. So make sure you share it and let people know about it. But it gives you a little taste of the stuff that we do behind the scenes and, you know, for the patron community, without whom I could not do what I do. The best way to support me is on Patreon. The link is in the description below. And thank you so much if it's something you'd like to consider, so I can continue to make videos. I'm currently in the process of moving the studio to an actual studio location that's not my basement. So, it's only possible thanks to the growing Patreon community. So thank you so much. Hard to do well against Horde Tyranids. Yes, that's true. Says High Call Ray. Helvexus says, I like Haywires because a mate is probably taking 35-point Tech Priest and giving a Baneblade a 4 plus invulnerable save. Yep, that's... Haywire is just okay to have in a pinch, you know? It's just good. Void Raven with Dark Sides and Missiles. I love this. I want to use it so badly. I cannot wait to pull my Void Raven out and use it a couple of times. Mandrakes, 6 Grotesques. Don't forget to give them Flamers, because they can have Flamers. Now, this is where I would put Heat Lances. Reavers with Heat Lances, yes, 100%. Don't forget to give the Cluster Caltrops to the unit as well. Heat Lances on Reavers, yes. Haywires on Talos, yes. Haywire Gang. Hashtag Haywire Gang. Ravager with Dark Lances, Ravager with Dark Lances. Now, because you put the Talos, the Haywire if you want, I would honestly do Dark Lances on the other Scourge. Totally up to you. Just a little food for thought. But all in all, I like the list. The only thing I've noticed that you don't really have is a transport. So I'm assuming your Cabalites are just walking around on foot. Dangerous world, that. Very dangerous world. So maybe trying to fit in a Raider to have one of those Cabalites, or Venom, to have like one of those. Oh, you have 2 Venoms. Okay, so you can split the Cabalites. But then you have, yeah, okay, that's not bad actually. 2 Venoms, split the Cabalites, have like little crap units running around, and then the ones with guns inside the Venoms. Check. You know what? I'm okay with that. Okay, on to the last list of the day. Thank you so much, Gut Gold, for posting a list. It's another Drukhari one. Let's dive into this. Chunk City. I wonder what's in this list. If the name doesn't give it away. An Archon? Well, that's it. My expectation is shattered. I would have expected a Homunculus. Or Uri and Rakarth to heal all your chunk. 2 units of cabs. Yep, pretty standard stuff. I think you kind of start each list with something like that. I'm a huge fan of this in and of itself. Like, it's just so good. 2 Venoms. Yep. A Court. My man. I love the Court. I wish I could. I wish it was like just a little bit cheaper. Just a little bit cheaper. Right, but it's good. Kronos, 2 units of Mandrakes, good. 3 Ravagers, 3 Scourge, all with Dark Lances. I think that's pretty standard. I like it. Tantalus, excellent. And a Bomber, and a Solitaire. I want to say I love this list. Mainly because I can run this list and I would have so much fun. But I don't get where the chunk is. There's no chunk here. You have a single Kronos. When you say chunk, okay, let's talk about nomenclature here. Chunk is Grotesques and Talos and Rax. That's chunky, okay? 1 Tantalus is no chunk. No chunk Tantalus. Hey, Nick. Hey, from the Cayman Islands. Thanks for great videos. You've helped me greatly improve my games and Dark Eldar tactics over the years. Cheers! Hey, thanks for hanging out, Nick. Really appreciate it. I love it when I hear feedback from all over the world, and I hope that you continue to enjoy the videos that I've made and that I make and all that good stuff. So thank you very much. It means a lot to me. I love that you were able to also fit in a Solitaire just for added stabbiness. Yeah. This is a fun list. This is a list I would use. I like it. The only change I would make is drop the Court. I know. I was like all about the Court at 9. Now I'm like, we could use more. You could use it. Drop the Court, which then you use the 20 points you have left over, right? Goes up to 115 points. Okay. Put in another Kronos. That leaves you 65 points. And then you put in 5 Racks. That's what I would do, and I feel that would be better. That's it. That's it. That's my food for thought for today. I want to say thank you so much to everybody who submitted a list. Thank you for putting a list. Of course, we'll be back on Monday for the bonus Patreon show, the Monday show, where we talk about a variety of different topics and all your questions submitted on Patreon and on the Patreon Discord. There's a Discord available to patrons. The link is in the description if you want to support what I do, become a part of the growing Denizen community from all around the world. And of course, this was a little taste of what we do every Friday, the good old list crunch, where I help you develop your list. Thank you so much, everybody. I've been Skari, your grateful host, signing off until next time. Skari out. Ah, the Dark Kin. Bye, everybody.